The alphabet is not only another means of communication, but it's the basis for talking, writing, and reading. With that being said, where exactly did the alphabet first come from? Who originated it? And how has it changed over time into what we know as the alphabet today? The history of the modern alphabet begins in ancient Egypt with the hieroglyphics. By the year 2700 BCE, the Egyptians had a set of 22 hieroglyphs that represent syllables that begin with a single consonant of their language. The vowel was then to be supplied by the native speaker. This form of language was used as a pronunciation guide for logograms and to write and later to transcribe loanwords and foreign names. While a look at the ancient hieroglyphs may seem alphabetic in nature, they were never actually used to encode Egyptian speech. During the Middle Bronze Age, an alphabetic system known as the Proto-Sinaitic script is thought to have been developed in Central Egypt around 1700 BCE. However, only one of these writings has been deciphered, and the nature of the alphabet remains open to interpretation. Many believe that based on its letter, appearance, and names, it was based upon the Egyptian hieroglyphics. This eventually developed into the Proto-Canaanite alphabet, and then was refined into the Phoenician alphabet. By extension, it also developed into the South Arabian alphabet. These early representations of alphabets aren't considered proper alphabets like we have today. They all lack characters to represent vowels. These early alphabets that don't contain characters for vowels are called abjads. They still exist today in scripts like Arabic and Hebrew. Phoenician was the first major phonemic script. The reasons why this script was different than the other two commonly used writing systems of the time, cuneiform and the Egyptian hieroglyphics, is that it only used around 24 distinct letters. This made it easier for the common traders and people to learn. It could also be used to write down many different languages, as it works phonemically. The Phoenicians then spread this type of script across the Mediterranean. It was modified by the Greeks to add vowels, making this the first true alphabet. Both vowels and consonants as explicit symbols were represented in a single script. There were many different variations on the Greek alphabet, and this is the reason why many different alphabets evolved from it. One form of the Greek alphabet, Cumae, was carried over by Greek colonists to the Italian peninsula. This then gave rise to a variety of alphabets used for the Italian languages. One of these became the Latin alphabet, which spread across Europe as the Romans expanded their empire. Latin was used as the root of a lot of the languages that we speak today, as you might know, like Spanish and English. The medieval alphabet brought about small changes in the script because literacy was low during this era, so the changes didn't really make an effect on people's lives. The alphabet was originally created to make writing simpler. If this is so, why do we have to look up words in a dictionary to know how to spell it? And why do we have spelling bee competitions? The alphabet we follow today hasn't been changed in centuries. Therefore, we're left with many weird rules of spelling that don't make sense. For example, think of the way the word night is spelled. K-N-I-G-H-T. If we pronounced it how we spelled it, it would sound like this, Kanigata. The same sound can also be spelled many different ways, like the sh sound in shoe, notion, and ocean. While all these words still have the same sh sound, they're all spelled very differently. It all comes down to the question of how do you spell a word when there are different pronunciations of the word. Like the word girl. Someone from New York might say boil, and someone from Ireland would say go. The problem is that a spoken language evolves, and the spelling of these words needs to be changed with the spoken part of the word. Any alphabet or script would face this problem, except maybe the Chinese. In a language like Chinese, every word is a separate sign based on 212 basic radicals. These signs are combined to form more and more complex ideas. There are 50,000 symbols total, however, only 4,000 are common in use because a lot of combinations allow for the extras to be eliminated. It doesn't have to be modified according to dialect or as the language evolves, and the form of writing doesn't need to evolve at all. unless new ideas or things arise, which don't happen that often. The alphabet is, simply put, a collection of letters and sounds. However, these letters and sounds are what we learn to communicate based upon. It is the building block of literacy and language as we know it. Learning the history behind the alphabet helps us to understand and appreciate all it does for us, and how it might need to be changed in certain ways to make up